Come on now. This is the greatest thing about democracy right here.
Our next speaker, J.C. Frazier, 3749 North 56th Street, Milwaukee, Northwest Funeral Church.
Thank you. We have already reviewed the guidelines that were set for us by the City Development Commission with regard to parking as well as processions. We have complied with those recommendations, and we just respectfully request that you would approve our request for special use of that facility. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Jeff Cole. Most of you up there know me. I'm coming to you to speak in opposition to the Women's Club.
We're clear supporters, and I stand here in complete support of Marsh, Meredith, and Acclaim. Your approval is subject to the conditions that this other organization is presenting to you. How can they guarantee them? Can you guarantee human nature? Can you guarantee that I'm not going to find the closest spot and park wherever I need to?
My name is Hillary Krecha. I live at 1410 South Main Street. My husband and I own Miller's Flowers at 219 6th Street. People who are going to frequent the Northwest Funeral Chapel, whether it be for a funeral or for an event itself, will be parking on the street, no doubt. And if they don't pay the money meter, or if they don't put more money into the meter, they're going to get a ticket, $15. It's going to cause bad will.
Therefore, we are asking you to approve the Planning Commission's recommendation to accept Mr. Frazier's proposal to purchase the building. And as another thought, you are penalizing the Women's Club by saying you have the Memorial Hall, you have the museum, you have all these other buildings who have access to parking on the streets, but the Women's Club will not be allowed to park on the street. We cannot do anything. The building is there. So please consider it. Thank you.
Mr. Frazier of Northwest Funeral has addressed the concerns of the City Plan Commission.
I looked up traffic counts for downtown Racine from 2008, and the traffic count on Lake Avenue is, according to the DOT, is 2,900 cars a day. By comparison, Main Street is 11,700 cars a day. So, first of all, there really isn't a traffic issue on Lake Avenue. If there was a traffic issue, it would be on Main Street. Mr. Frazier's plan doesn't include any kind of processions on Main Street.
Meredith family has been very generous to this Racine community. I hate to see them defeated in this cause.
Good evening, Mayor, fellow council members. I'm Tom Meredith. I reside at 4848 Elson Drive. I'm part of the Meredith family that owns Marsh, Meredith, and Ackland Funeral Home right over here at 803 Main. The Women's Club, in their 100-plus year existence, chose not to acquire any additional property for parking, but to operate as they did back in the horse and buggy days. At present, they do not own one parking space. Today, we can only conclude by Mr. Frazier's actions that for him, parking doesn't matter.
Mayor Dickert and the entire council, I am Duke Meredith. I reside at 1675 Douglas Avenue. This entire situation is most troubling to our family because this puts us at odds with who we are and what we stand for.
My name is Michael McDermott. I live at 7 Pinewood Court. However, it is unreasonable to expect people who are not familiar with our operations to be told that they have to relocate or park in a designated area.
Howard Loeb, 1407 West Mequon Road, Mequon, Wisconsin. In full disclosure, I'm the real estate broker who brought this idea to Mr. Frazier. But before I brought it to him, I looked carefully at your city ordinance, and virtually everything that he wants to do there is permitted by ordinance. I want to draw a little parallel. One of the main things that could be there is a church. How often do you go to a funeral in a church? So having a funeral in a church is not a crazy use for this property. What this seems to be is, we're looking at Mr. Frazier as not an interloper here. He's a successor to a funeral business that's been here 30, 40, maybe more years, just as Meredith succeeded Marsh and Acklam. So the main issue here is it seems to be inconvenient for Meredith if there's another activity in that building, whether it's a funeral, whether it's a luncheon, whether it's a church service, anything that might interfere here is what this seems to be boiled down to.
I don't know what the underlying reason is, but if there's a parking problem, I guess you just got to get there earlier if you want a good spot. It's real simple. You got to do that every time you go downtown or anytime you go anywhere else. And I'd approve this right now without these conditions because I can't believe of the hoops that we're making this place jump through to be treated fairly like every place else that's here right now. This just sickens me.
We would tell them, don't sell this to this person, but you can sell it to this person.
But just because they addressed our questions, just because they provided plans, doesn't necessarily mean that we, the council, feel that the answers to these questions are adequate.